Why was civil or ironclad visibility so bad? Imagine being inside a metal box with tiny slits for windows, trying to see through smoke and chaos during a fierce battle. That was the reality for crews on Civil War ironclad ships. These ships, like the USS Monitor and CSS Virginia, were built with thick iron armor to withstand enemy cannon fire. But that armor came with a big trade-off: poor visibility. The armor was layered over wooden hulls, and the small viewing ports, called sighting slits, were necessary to keep the ships protected. These narrow slits limited how much the crew could see, especially during combat when smoke from gunfire filled the air. The USS Monitor had a tiny, heavily armored pilot house with only narrow slits for the captain and helmsman. These slits were so small that they made steering and navigation difficult, especially in the thick smoke. The rotating gun turret was another problem. While it let the crew fire in any direction, it was a large iron structure that blocked the view from the deck. Crew members inside had to rely on signals or commands from the pilot house because they couldn't see outside directly. On ships like the CSS Virginia, the entire gun deck was enclosed in a sloped iron casemate with small ports. When these ports were closed for protection, the crew inside was completely blind. Even when open, the view was limited, and the thick iron walls created blind spots all around. Smoke was a constant enemy. Gunpowder produced thick black smoke that lingered long after firing, making it hard to see anything beyond a few yards. This was especially dangerous in close combat, where ships often fought just a few hundred yards apart. Maneuvering in narrow rivers or coastal waters was even harder because of poor visibility. Crews often couldn't see hazards or obstacles, leading to groundings and collisions. All these factors made navigation and targeting very difficult. Commanders struggled to coordinate their ships, and gunners often fired blindly, hoping to hit something. The famous duel between the USS Monitor and CSS Virginia saw very few direct hits, partly because of the limited visibility. Designers tried to improve sightlines by adding larger ports or mirrors, but these options weakened the armor and were not very effective. The constant need for protection meant that visibility was always a compromise. In the end, the design choices of these ships prioritized survival over sight. Thick armor, small viewing ports, enclosed gun positions, and smoke-filled environments all combined to make visibility poor. This affected how well ships could navigate, aim, and command during battles. While these ships changed naval warfare forever, their limited visibility was a direct result of the technological constraints and the need for protection in that era.